Momentum does not ask for permission. It responds to what you do repeatedly, not what you intend, not what you promise yourself late at night. Life measures you by evidence, not explanation. You can rehearse discipline in your head for years, and nothing will change until behavior interrupts the pattern. That interruption feels abrupt because it exposes the gap between who you imagine yourself to be and who you have been practicing as. That gap is uncomfortable, but it is honest. Honesty is the beginning of transformation. Every decisive move carries weight because it removes the option to hide behind potential. When you move without waiting to feel ready, you force alignment between thought and reality. That alignment builds internal authority. You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop asking whether you are allowed. You act, then you adapt. Adaptation builds credibility inside your own mind. That credibility cannot be borrowed, read, or watched. It must be earned through consistent motion. When you step forward despite uncertainty, the nervous system recalibrates. Fear does not disappear, but it stops being the decision maker. Action becomes the language you speak fluently. That fluency is what separates intention from impact. The world does not reward clarity of thought. It rewards clarity of movement. Movement clarifies thought after the fact. Many people reverse this order and wait forever. They tell themselves they will act once everything makes sense. Reality works in the opposite direction. You move first, then understanding catches up. That is not recklessness. It is how learning actually embeds. Each step taken creates feedback. Feedback sharpens judgment. Judgment builds confidence. Confidence accelerates further steps. This loop cannot begin without motion. When you refuse to move until certainty arrives, you remain stuck in rehearsal. Rehearsal feels productive, but it produces no consequences. Without consequences, there is no growth. Action introduces stakes. Stakes demand focus. Focus pulls scattered energy into a single direction. That direction becomes momentum. Momentum simplifies life. Decisions become clearer because you are already in motion. Standing still invites overthinking. Moving forward demands response. Response builds presence. Presence changes how you carry yourself. People sense it. Opportunities respond to it. None of this comes from planning alone. It emerges from execution repeated often enough to become identity. Discipline is misunderstood because it is often described as restraint rather than expression. True discipline expresses intent through behavior regardless of mood. It does not wait for motivation. It moves even when motivation is absent. This movement teaches the mind a powerful lesson. You are not dependent on emotional readiness to function. That lesson rewires self-trust. Once you trust yourself to act under imperfect conditions, hesitation loses authority. You stop asking whether you feel capable and start asking what needs to be done next. That shift reduces internal noise. Energy that was once spent debating is redirected into execution. Over time, this creates a calm intensity. You become less reactive because you are no longer waiting. Waiting creates anxiety because it suspends action. Acting resolves anxiety by replacing speculation with experience. Experience grounds you. It gives you reference points that thought alone cannot provide. When you have evidence of follow-through, doubt has less room to operate. You are not convincing yourself anymore. You are remembering what you have done. Consistency is not built through bursts of inspiration. It is built through repeated decisions to show up when it would be easier to retreat. Each time you choose to act despite discomfort, you reinforce a standard. That standard becomes expectation. Expectation shapes identity. You begin seeing yourself as someone who responds rather than delays. That self-image changes behavior automatically. You stop making promises you do not intend to keep. You stop announcing plans prematurely. You let results speak. Silence becomes a strategy rather than avoidance. This is how credibility forms. Quiet, accumulated proof. Not dramatic gestures, but steady presence. The mind respects this kind of evidence. It relaxes once it knows you will do what you say. That relaxation frees mental capacity. You think more clearly because you are no longer carrying the burden of unfinished intentions. Each completed action removes weight. Over time, that weight loss feels like strength. Not because you became something new, but because you stopped carrying unnecessary hesitation. Action reveals what matters quickly. When you move, distractions lose their appeal. You no longer have the luxury of indulging every thought. Focus becomes selective. That selectivity sharpens results. You stop chasing everything and commit to something. Commitment simplifies identity. You are no longer fragmented across possibilities. You are anchored to a direction. Direction creates momentum even when progress feels slow. Slow movement still compounds. No movement decays. The difference becomes obvious over time. People who act consistently look different. They speak differently. They carry a grounded confidence that does not need validation. That confidence is not loud, it is stable. Stability attracts trust. Trust opens doors. Those doors were always there, but they respond to motion. Standing still makes them invisible. Walking forward makes them apparent. The world aligns itself with those already moving. There is a cost to inaction that rarely gets discussed. It erodes self-respect quietly. Each delayed decision teaches the mind that your words lack authority. Over time, internal commands lose power. You tell yourself you will start tomorrow and nothing happens. That pattern weakens resolve. Reversing it requires decisive behavior now, not tomorrow.